Hello, friends, and welcome to the Friend Leigh Show. I am your host and friend, Leigh. Okay. So as you can see, we are still in the hospital. It has been 9 weeks, and what a wild ride! What a wild ride! Um, so I am happy to announce, for those of you that have been following that journey, um, my sister is doing well. Um, I will tell you, being present and being in the moment is so important in life. But when you're in a hospital setting, OMG, is it ever? So, yesterday we were told that things were not looking good. And so I did not live in the moment. When I went home and I went to bed, I was living in the future of OMG, what is going to happen? What is this going to look like? Because they told us that it was very possible that this was nearing the end. There was talk about hospice, like it was ridiculous. And then now today, we talked to the specialist, and everything is looking as we thought it did a couple days ago. So it was just interesting how you can get information and it can throw you for a spin, but what being present really does. And so we were going to talk about for our May series. So we do a series every month. If you're new to the show, hello. If you're new to the show, what we do is we have a series every month, and every month we have a theme. And what we were going to talk about this month was going to be resilience and where to start your comeback story, kind of thing. And we had our mastermind in our happy circle on Saturday. And I asked everybody to kind of just close their eyes and decide how they want to feel this coming month. What do they really want to cultivate this month? And I thought we were going to hear like a bunch of different things. And everybody unanimously, individually wrote down that they want to feel peace. And that was mine. I wanted to feel peace, and even in the chaos. And it's not to say that we want to eliminate everything that's happening around us, but we just want to feel peace within that chaos. And we do have control over that, even though sometimes it feels like we don't. So I decided that this month, this series for May is going to be all about peace. So what we do is every week we go through each pillar of the happy framework. And week 1, we talk about health and affection for ourselves. We kind of combine both of those, only because there are 5 pillars, but then there are usually only 4 weeks in a month. So we always combine health and affection for ourselves. So we're going to be talking about that and looking at that through both the happy lens, but also the peace lens, through the idea of how does happiness, or how does health and affection for ourselves help our peace, and how does peace help our health and affection for yourself? So if you're new to the show, that's how we run it. But then also, because it's a live show on Wednesday nights, every Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, or whatever the equivalent is for you, you'll find us live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitch. And when you comment in any of those areas, when you comment, then you become a part of the show. So that we have a couple of people here. Hello, Sarah's here. Sarah says, glad to hear she's doing better. Yes, OMG. Yesterday was Panicsville, and today we just kept praying that we were going to get good news, because it was literally going to be 50-50 of, is there a path forward or is there not? And thank God there is what seems to be a very easy path forward. And so she is doing really, really well. There's still a journey ahead of us, but it's a journey ahead of us. So we are so, so grateful for that. And Pops is here. Hey, Britt, morning. And Mel is here. Hey, beautiful friend. Well, hello, gorgeous. I'm so glad you guys are here. So we have had a change. It's not going to be talking about resilience, although really these all kind of, we're going to be touching on a lot of things throughout the month. But really we want our lens, our intention to be around peace and how to cultivate that. And cultivating peace is very similar to cultivating happiness, where it's not an outside job. It's not okay, when I do this thing, then I will feel happy, or when I do this thing, I will feel peace. It is, what can I do right now, myself, have control over myself, not the situation, in responding to life as it's coming at us, and look at it through a happy lens and through a peaceful lens. So I always like to start the show just with some things that I want you to think about. I take some notes. I kind of start thinking about it myself, and then I want to share it with you. And I also want to share some tangible action steps that you can take around that theme and around those pillars. And then we'll come back and you'll share your experience and your thoughts, your ideas. So the other thing that I always say during the show, sometimes in the beginning, sometimes at the end, and sometimes halfway through, is that I am not a healthcare professional. So I am simply your friend here, just to share what my experience is. I am a happiness coach. I have like a little certification that I am a happiness coach, which really is powerful. When I got it, I thought, well, am I really going to use this? And I think that is probably one of the best certifications that I've gotten, because I think everything revolves around our happiness. And if we can look at life through that lens, it makes everything else easier. But I am not a healthcare professional. So if you hear anything on the show, whether it's coming from me or from the comments from our friends that are watching, and you feel called out, that you're like, wow, I don't know, I feel like that might be diagnosing me. That's me in a nutshell. I want you to take it to a healthcare professional, whether that's your GP or a specialist or your therapist. So I want you to be curious during the show, but I want you to take those ideas to a healthcare professional that knows your background, knows your family background, knows what kind of, medications you're on and what kind of lifestyle you're living and the things like that. So I talk about things like intermittent fasting. I talk about ADHD. I talk about all these things that I am using and experiencing and playing around with. But I don't want you to take any of that as a treatment plan or an action plan for you unless you talk to somebody that you know and trust. Okay, so that is it. So let's get to health and affection for ourselves and peace. How do those all intertwine? I really, really do believe that peace starts within the body. If you would have asked me years ago, I would have said you have to talk yourself into peace and you just have to think peaceful thoughts, and that is where it's going to come. But the more that I'm learning about the nervous system is that if your nervous system is firing in a fight or flight mode, if you are in constant stress, if you're heightened the way that I was heightened yesterday, I didn't do the tools that I needed to do last night. I let my mind take me to a future that did not exist, and I let it hijack me. And it happens to the best of us. You can be studying this stuff. You can be a practitioner in this stuff for 30, 40, 50 years. And if something hits you the wrong way, it can take you spiraling. Even the best of us, it will happen. And usually it happens within our mind. However, we can do things in our body to directly impact our nervous system that can then lead to peace, that can then bring us to a position that we're able to address the situation that's at hand in a more powerful way. If we are in survival mode, there is no way that we're going to be able to address what's happening in a rational mindset. Very, very difficult to do. So because it starts in our body, there's things that we can do. Sleep is one of them. Sleep, and that is one of the hardest things because our mind will hijack our sleep. We'll start thinking about all of these what ifs, and that's usually what's keeping us up. we think about all these what ifs, and then we're not able to sleep. And then because we're not able to sleep, it affects our nervous system. It affects our entire, our body, our mind, our spirit, our energy, all of it. And so then we're not able to kind of go into that next day in a peaceful manner because we're already against the 8 ball. So having chronic stress, we can have stressful moments and stressful days and stressful experiences. But if we handle them a little bit differently, then they won't become chronic. You'll be able to just see those as moments, even if they're like really bad moments during the day. We need to be able to temper those with more peaceful moments throughout the day to combat that, to give our nervous system a chance to kind of regulate and level out. So sleep is a big one. And it's kind of, we say, oh, well, I just can't sleep because I have so much on my mind, or I can't sleep because I have a chronic sleeping issue. But if we look at things like our lack of movement, if we're not moving, if we're not doing exercise, then we're not really getting tired at the end of the night, right? If we are not getting outside and getting sunlight, our circadian rhythm can get off, and we actually don't know when it's time to sleep and when it's time to wake up. So getting sunlight, getting movement in, being hydrated, taking care of our body with proper nutrients, all of that will help bring peace and stability to our body, and then being able to then think more peaceful thoughts. And then nervous system regulation, when we're talking about nervous system regulation, that's things like rest. So NSDR is a really good thing. We've talked about it on the show a lot. You can do those in 10, 15, 20-minute increments. Basically, they are it's called non-sleep deep rest. So it's kind of like a body scan that you do. If you're in yoga, you've probably done body scans. And so a lot of the times you do that in a guided kind of form. So then now it's 10 minutes. And if you really focus on all of your body, just deepening your body, then you can get that nervous system regulation. Another thing that I've come up with this past week, something that I did years ago, it worked. And then, everything it's working. So then you stop doing the things that worked, right? Is tapping. So if you've never heard of tapping, it's where you tap meridian points in your body. So there's the karate chop part, meridian. You tap here, and then you tap here. Oh, so if you're listening to in the audio version, I guess I should do this because it is a podcast. So karate chop is on the side of your palm, just under your pinky finger. And then you do on top of your eyebrow, right in the middle of your eyebrow. And then on the side of your temple, under your eye, under your nose, under your lip, above your chin, then where your collarbone is, under your armpit, and then on the top, the crown of your head. And those, if you do like a run of that 1, 2, maybe 3 times, it actually takes you out of that fight or flight and calms your body. It's fascinating. It works. You can look at the tapping solution on Facebook and YouTube, or I think they're on YouTube too, and Instagram. I'm not affiliated with them at all, but they are kind of like the top people that are doing tapping. And you can go in there and get a lot of free resources. So that's a really great way to ground your body, especially in heightened states where you only have, you don't have time to go and do a yoga session or to go out for a walk. You can do that in the moment. And then another thing that you can do to kind of calm your body is just hum. You can kind of activate your vagus nerve in your body by humming. So that whole feeling will activate your vagus nerve, and it'll shift you from fight to flight into the rest and digest mode, which is your peaceful mode. And then Self-affection, the biggest part there is giving yourself grace. The biggest part there is giving yourself the time to be able to do these physical things that will help you. So a lot of us say, I'll rest when I've earned it, when I've worked, when I've achieved this thing, then I'll rest. I'm too busy to take care of myself right now. Other people are depending on me. I don't have time. We need to make time, even if it's little amounts of time throughout our day, to ground and to take care of our body and our nutrition and our hydration, drinking, doing all the things that we need to do. So self-compassion, just being kind to ourselves, will lower our anxiety, our depression. The more people I'm talking to in this hospital, the majority of the people that are here that come in, my sister's in a shared room now. They've had to take her private room and use it for people that need it because they need to be secluded. And so now she's in a shared room, and we've met a lot of people that have come in, and anxiety is a big thing that's happening with a lot of people that are in this hospital. And that is something that we can take care of and that we should be addressing. It's a really big deal. Yes, you can get medication to help you, but there's also a lot of things that we can do to ground ourselves and give ourselves grace and do these kinds of tapping, grounding type of things that are really, really important. So some of the like tangible actions that I want you guys to just think about taking are peace pockets. So moments throughout the day that you can devote 5 minutes to yourself and to finding peace, whatever that is. Even 3 minutes makes a difference. So just being completely present for that amount of time, going out into nature, not multitasking, not using your phone, just being present in the moment, grounding outside, doing that tapping, breathing, calling a friend, whatever it is for you, find those peace pockets throughout the day. A forgiveness journal is really, really, really fascinating because when I tell people about the forgiveness journal, they think, oh, that's a really great idea. I can forgive so-and-so and I can just write them a note inside of my journal and then be good. But what I think a really powerful way is to do it is to say, today I forgive myself for, and whatever that is, and giving ourselves grace and just letting our body kind of soften and release whatever that is that we're hanging on to. Doing the body scan, really quick, really easy, especially at night before you go to bed. Doing affirmations. It has been shown that you can rewire your brain in just 21 days. So we heard about 21 days to do a new habit, but you can actually rewire your brain in 21 days just with constant, consistent self-affirmation practices. So really kind of like rewiring not your nervous system, but your subconscious mind to believe what you want it to believe about you. And think about it. A lot of the time we talk to ourselves very meanly. We call ourselves stupid. We say, how could we do that? I can't handle this. I'm nervous. I'm anxious. I'm this, I'm that. And then our body remembers it. Our body believes it. We rewire our body to be in lack, to just not thrive at all, barely survive. And we can reprogram that with the words that we use. So those are just some of the things that I want you guys to think about. But now I'm going to go over to the comments. I always close out the comments because I want to make sure that I am just focusing on that first part, especially for the audio people. So if you're listening to this in the podcast form, this is where it's going to kind of shift into a little bit more conversation style, where I'm going to be taking people in the comments, bringing them up, and we're going to be talking about the theme and about their experiences with it. So it's my favorite part, you guys. So Mel is here and she says, yes, sleep is to me most important. Absolutely. And for people that say that they have a hard time with sleep, and I'm not a doctor, so there may be something going on with your body that is preventing you from sleeping. However, I would highly recommend to really start getting curious about what's preventing you and see if you can change what's going on in your life to help that. So, making your bedroom only for sleep. So, when you get into the bedroom, then you automatically are like, oh, now it's time to sleep, instead of, oh, now it's time to watch TV, or it's time to, talk on the phone, or it's time to do whatever. It should really only be sex and sleep that happen in the bedroom. And then also, like, getting off of the blue light off of your phone at a certain time, having a regular get up and go to sleep time, getting outside first thing in the morning, getting that sunlight in your eye. Doing the same thing after dinner is really great, because then it just reminds you. And actually, the sunlight from nighttime, as it's sun setting, can actually help that blue light that's coming from your phone at night. So doing all of these things, really getting a nice sleep routine, a good sleep hygiene, I would highly recommend playing around with those things before you start looking at sleeping pills, because sleeping pills don't always work. But a lot of the time you'll become addicted to them, even if they're not working. And then it makes you even more groggy at night if you haven't been able to have a full night's sleep with them. So you're almost like in a zombie state, and then you're not able to sleep that next night. So again, not a healthcare professional. However, from experience, I've seen that, there's other things that you could be doing to try to make your sleep better. And I think getting curious and getting playful with it and experimenting with it is a really great way to combat it. Even just being intentional that I'm going to sleep tonight, and because I've done this, this, and this, and that this will work. Mel also says, I like the tapping method. I have an autistic student who really likes this method. He has anger issues and says that it helps. That's amazing. That's so good. It helps with everything. Like, I've heard anger. I've heard anxiety a lot. I've heard, if you're doing affirmations, that just heightens it. So it's really, really cool. I love it. I'm getting right back into it. But like I said, it worked when I used it years ago, and it's kind of like you forget the things that worked. Cause you're like, oh, I'm feeling better now. I don't have to do all the things. Yeah, you do. Yeah, we do. So Mel also says, we have a grateful journal. So why not have a forgiveness journal? That's beautiful. Yeah. Gratitude journal is really, really cool. I think that's awesome. So, okay. So let's go to, and if you guys have any other like comments, Mel, I love your comments. If you guys are listening to this and you have any comments that you want to kind of share, please do so. But I'm going to hop into the kind of last part of our show. And I did bring the scenario cards. So we do a kind of lightning round where we ask some questions to get to know your friends, because I like to think about this show that we're kind of, I've invited you into my living room, and we're just hanging around. We're just chatting. We're getting to know each other. And so I've got these cards. Julia, thank you so much. This was my Christmas present. I got 6 boxes of cards. And this actually, the one that I picked is the gratitude. I just grabbed it out of the box. I didn't know which one it was. So it kind of fits perfectly, Mel, with what you're saying. So it's, there's going to be scenario cards in here. They're kind of like what ifs. And you guys are going to answer them. So we're going to do 3. So let me just close my eyes and grab 1, 2, and 3. And then we will read those. You guys will share your answers. I'll share my answers. And then we'll see. I think this will be good. It's funny. The gratitude, I didn't even know which one I was going to pick, but it's perfect for what we're talking about when we're talking about affection for ourselves and peace. Mel says, I love how you're talking about peace. Peace is a fruit of the spirit, and it has to be practiced. It absolutely does. Peace, happiness, all of the things. we think that they should just come naturally to us. But really, we need to be intentional with it. We need to be intentional with our happiness, and we need to be intentional with our peace. And so I'm really excited about kind of diving deeper into all of it this month, and kind of just reminding us just to live in a more peaceful, loving nature. It will help everybody around us, and especially us. So here are the three. So the first one is, what if you could relive your favorite meal or dinner? Where would you be, and what is on the menu? Oh, okay, that's good. These ones I'm not a big fan of because I have to like use my memory, and my memory isn't always what I want it to be. So we'll see. It'll probably be something more recent. What if you could, and then number two is, what if you could describe yourself to a stranger using only a collection of symbols? What would your collection look like? Interesting. And then this one is, what if you could rewrite, this is number three, what if you could rewrite your personal history so that you met any person sooner? Who would it be, and how would your decision change your life? Interesting. Okay. So the first one was, what if you could relive your favorite meal or dinner? Where would you be, and what is on the menu? Oh, you know what? This actually probably will be easy. So when I stayed in Malta, we had, believe it or not, it was a buffet, and I'm usually not a big fan of buffets, but they had a buffet at our hotel in the morning that was out of this world. We had pastizzi, we had, oh my gosh, it was so, so good. And then the dinner was like this seafood buffet, but like, anyway, it was just right on the Mediterranean. That one was the absolute best. I would say that would be mine. Mel says, number one, relive. I would be at my Mammy and Pappy's for Sunday dinner, eating her fried chicken with all the works. Oh, that's so nice. I love that. I love that. See, now I'm like, oh, wait, no, that would, yeah. And now I'm bringing up like my grandparents. And, but anyway, that's where my mind went. Britt says one would be the first date with Mel, and it was for Mexican food. Oh, that's so nice. I love that. That's so cool. Aw, Mel says, aw, babe, the fall and all. Oh, well, there's a good story. And I love Mexican food, so that sounds like a really great first date. Okay, so the second one is, what if you could describe yourself to a stranger using only a collection of symbols? What would your collection look like? I guess mine would maybe be like a symbol. I don't know. Like, is hug a symbol? I feel like hug, smile, fireworks, and roller coaster. I'll go with those for my symbols, maybe. Mel says, yeah, I was looking too cute and feeling it and slipped on my pant leg and fell on my bottom in the restaurant. Oh, it's so cute, Mel. That's awesome. Britt says, oh, like this? And then he's got a whole bunch of like, asterisks and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't really love this question. I don't know. You guys can skip it if you want. It kind of, I don't know. But that's what Brits would be, is just like a whole bunch of obscenities, I guess. Is that what that is? Okay, so this one is cool, I think. But I'll tell you, when I answer mine, it's not going to be as cool. What if you could rewrite your personal history so that you met any person sooner? Who would it be, and how would your decision change your life? That one's a really hard one, because I would like to say that I would meet Mike sooner, but I actually did meet Mike sooner. But I met him at a time that I wasn't ready to receive him properly. And that's what I feel like would be with anybody that I would meet earlier. I feel like I met everybody when I was supposed to meet them. So I think that's like, I don't know that anybody could actually answer this properly. I'll be curious what you guys think. But I don't think that like we could say, how would we want that decision to change our life? But I don't know that we know that it would, because we would be looking at meeting that person the way that we are right now, with our awareness right now. But, if we met them when we were 10, would it have changed us? I don't know. Would we be able to receive people or their messages at a younger age? I don't know. Mel said for the symbols, hers would be the Bible symbol, laughing emoji, and the hug emoji. I love it. Those are good. Those are really good. And then Mel says, I would meet the opportunity of going to teach somewhere else sooner. Oh, okay. I like that. Okay. Okay. I like that. That's a cool spin on it. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so it's hard. It's hard to say. I think we all are doing the best with what we've got. And if we're not, we have an opportunity to do the best with what we've got going forward. Okay. Visiting hours are now over. So I am going to have to wrap this up. I love you guys so much. I'm really happy that you guys are liking the theme for May. So our series is going to be on peace. Next Wednesday, we are going to be doing, so what is it? We're going to be doing purpose and peace. So that'll be a fun one. Let me see. Pop says, I would say that I truly met Jesus sooner. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That could definitely, okay. Britt, you win. That would definitely change your life sooner. But yeah, that was a hard question. Mel says, I feel like I was closed-minded for a while. That's fair. That's really fair. Yeah, Mel says, oh, babe, that's good. So they're married. Anybody that's listening, Pops and Mel, they're married. Although that would be really cool if people were just like hitting on each other in the show. So Sarah says, it's the thing of having more time and them, but it's true, because would it have the same impact in the past? Right. I don't know. I don't think so. I think we're meeting the people. It would be nice to say that I wish that this would have happened earlier on. But you guys, we all are where we are because of the experiences that we've had. And if we don't like where we are right now, we have every opportunity to change it. But none of us can go back. None of us can change what's happened to us, but we can change what's happening to us in the future, or the way that we, maybe not what's happening to us, but the way that we're responding to it. So yeah, I also want to leave you guys with like a little thing. So because Sarah, she taught me this thing and it was really cool. She was saying that if you're in a conversation, maybe I shouldn't be sharing this out loud, but anyway, I think it's really cool. She says if she's in a conversation that she's not really happy to have, that she doesn't really want to get into it because it's going to be kind of a conflict conversation that isn't going to go anywhere. You probably had those. And I want to share it because we're going into Mother's Day. And if you're going to be getting together with family, a lot of the time when we get together with family, there's that somebody that just like, that it gets into the same conversation, possibly the same argument. And she has tried this thing that is, she just says, oh my goodness, I'm just not going to attend this conversation. I'm not going to attend this conversation. And I wanted to share it with you guys that you guys can experiment with it, see if it helps you, see if it works for you. I have already used it and it does work for me. So thank you, Sarah. It is really cool because you're not saying, shut up, I don't want to listen to you. You're just saying, you know what? I'm not interested in attending this. And so you can just shift the conversation. You don't have to leave the conversation. You can just shift the conversation. And if the conversation is still being had, maybe it's being had with a couple other family members or a couple other friends, you can just go and move on to the next conversation that's also happening in the room, or you can go outside for a walk, or you can go to the bathroom, or you can do whatever. You can actually remove yourself, but you might not have to remove yourself if you say, I'm actually not going to attend this conversation, and you can just sit and listen, but not participate. So I thought that was really cool. going into any holiday. I know that a lot of people struggle because of the family component. We want to be with family. We love family, but then there's also that hard conversation that happens a lot of the time. So, um, Mel says, Britt is really good at this, whereas I feel I have to be heard. Ugh. Okay. So that's good. That's something that at least you're aware of, Mel. um, so anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys. To all of you mothers, happy Mother's Day. I love you guys so much. I can't wait to see you on Wednesday. And yeah, have a peaceful week. Love you. Bye.